Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to discuss with you the topic of really getting out of your own way so that you can really embody what I would consider an influential and useful role within the psychosocial world. As many of you know, I believe that we come into the world with a bias, and that our bias is really shaped primarily by interacting with our early relationships. And I prefer to think of bias within the context of beauty. We can be beautifully biased, right? And we understand the beauty of our bias not in an abstract way, but through a deep experience of the world. When we experience relating, what I would consider something like successful or competent relating, we spontaneously receive something like subjective emotional meaning, the call to meaning, right? An ability to endure suffering in the world and to transcend suffering in the world. So I think, how do we kind of get that going? How do we sort of rev the engine, right, of being able to relate in this way? Well, I have found in my own life, because I'm limited to my own perspective, a pattern of really wanting to create space for other people to really explore their own thoughts and feelings. I have always been passionate about attachment theory and understanding the association between what we would consider a secure and healthy attachment with a coherent life narrative. And then also the interaction between really religious life and the ability to actually articulate a healthy narrative. The narrative sort of structure, as well as the self, is a profound area of interest for me. I have, for the past, 6 months, had so many opportunities to sort of open the door to self-exploration, as well as sharing within therapeutic relationships as a psychiatric registered nurse, but also within just meeting people, other people outside of work. There's always a dynamic and an ebb and flow that can be beautifully reinforcing or a source of stress. So, really, what kind of inspired me today was understanding that there is a lot of work to be done. And I would like to go to work. But I think that we go to work in different ways. I do believe this. We have work in that the duties and responsibilities of whatever we do professionally so that we can eat and pay for our shelter. But then we have, in some sense, I think, like God's work, the ways that we find meaningful and emotional sort of engagement in the world. The more I respond to my call to do something like psychotherapeutic work, the more it reinforces itself through positive feedback loops. It creates momentum in my life. It is a direct experience, in some sense, of truth in the world, of the human soul. Yes, dealing with the soul is what I'm drawn to. I'm so grateful and I'm so lucky to have the opportunities to combine my professional sort of work with soul matters. So let's take a step back. The reason why this is meaningful to me is because I experience it. But I want to proffer and offer you some advice in your own life about your own sort of way of being in the world. We have a stereotype right now where we think of influence in terms of power. We have to do things. We have to assert ourselves in the world. But there is a world asserting itself upon us. There is an ontology of being in relation to doing, and the social world presses itself upon us. And in my experience, we have to develop a healthy sort of respect for that variable in our lives. So we're always not completely in control, but we find a sense of our own self-control and relating in different ways, right? And we need that sense of self-control. We need that sense of self. And it would be my honor and pleasure to assist you in developing that, in rediscovering that, in really celebrating it. I have such a love for all people, all different kinds of people. How beautiful it is for you just to be you in the way that God made you. It's like a work of art in the world. You are something magnificent, something divine. And I honor that intimately. But I wanted to say that we have that power dynamic in the Western world. We have to do things. We have to be productive. We have to force our way in the world. Think of a surgeon. We have to cut out the tumor. We have to target it. We have to fix the problem. But then there's the opposite coin. We don't learn how to act in the world, what to do in the world, how to do things in a way that's more efficient or better for us, without learning to listen, to be receptive to. Yes, we have to listen, and we have to ask questions, not only to ourselves but other people, and be willing to listen. Yes, when we do that, we articulate better what needs to be done, what should be done. Yes, the ethical claims are grounded in being itself, in the way that we feel in relation to who we are and to who others are. But if we fail to look, and yet we go to work and we get busy, well, we get exhausted and we lack the necessary drive and motivation. The seeking system is not drawn into a social play-like dynamic, but rather something akin to nihilism. And my goodness, we are so much more than a bundle of sensory perceptions. We are so much more than just biochemical reactions. We are agents that are free, that are self-reflective, that have the capacity to reason and to engage in the world in extremely creative ways, in ways that are contemplative. And it's that ideal that I hope to defend in my own life. If you enjoyed the video, let me know with a comment. If you liked what I had to say, hit the like button. And if you're new, welcome. Nice to meet you. I assume you're an idealist. You are among a group of people who would like to see the world better and to be better. And I support that. Okay, see ya. Bye.